Good morning, my kings, queens, and trolls of YouTube. It's your girl, Queen C, here with another video. Please excuse my voice. I think I'm catching a little cold with this change of this weird weather out here. But anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about, just some relationship stuff, some things that I've been noticing where people, have respect for side chicks and side dudes. They're condoning it, they're high-fiving it, they're bigging it up, it's cute, it's funny. But at the same time, you have people, who are married and engaged or in long-term relationships, and they're doing things to safeguard their marriages, and y'all are like coming down on them. Y'all talking slick, y'all judging them, y'all saying like, oh, this person must be whipped, or this person must have cheated, and that's why they don't have no freedom, and this, that, and the third. And I don't think that that's cool. Basically, what inspired me to make this video was, I have a situation to where I have a relative, and I feel as though this relative is a toxic individual and they need some help. I think that they don't understand boundaries, and they don't understand that as an adult, if in your life you want to come first to somebody, you have to have a spouse, because everybody else in life, they have their obligations. They have the people that they're closest to, like their husband or their wife or their children, and those are the people that come first in that person's life. And people that don't have that, they feel like they have something missing in their life, and they tend to direct that anger and that hurt at the person closest to them. And so with that being said, this person, they were upset with me, and basically they don't feel the closeness in our relationship that they once felt. And the reason why they don't feel that closeness is because of their own behavior and their own dysfunction. I had to take a step back from that person because I felt as though they were a toxic individual. I started having anxiety when I would have to deal with them, or when they would come around. They just put me in a bad mood, and it made me like on the edge and stuff like that, and it just wasn't comfortable. But I was tolerating this person, and I was trying to be there for this person because I knew that they really didn't have any other immediate family. But either way, I started distancing myself, because at some point in your life you have to be happy. My childhood wasn't that great. Growing up, I've gone through a lot. I've seen a lot of things. I've experienced a lot of hurt. I've experienced a lot of betrayal and sneakiness with people. And it just got to a point to where I said, you know what? I got to do what makes me happy. So what makes me happy is, making these videos, being a mom, and being a good wife. Those are the things that make me happy. Very simple things. Some people don't understand that. Some people think that, oh, you should want more out of life and all this kind of stuff. If you want more out of life, go get more out of life. But this is what makes me happy. So anyway, in doing that, like I said, I started distancing myself. I wasn't nasty to anybody. I wasn't rude. I didn't say anything rude or nasty. But basically, I just, like I said, I started distancing myself. So it had gotten to the point to where I had spoken to this person, and when I spoke to them, everything was fine. They wanted to get some Girl Scout cookies. I had to explain to them that I had to order the cookies. I don't have cookies at my house. My daughter sells the cookies. We, take the orders. We take them to Girl Scouts. We pay for the cookies. We get the cookies, and then we give them to the person. And that person either gives me the money beforehand or after they get their cookies. But either way, when I get the cookies from Girl Scouts, I'm paying for them right then and there. So I told this person that I would give them a call with the kind of cookies, but this person kept on trying to come to my home, and I wasn't home. It was my daughter's birthday weekend. She was out with her friends, and I had a babysitter. Not only was it my daughter's birthday weekend, but it was also Valentine's Day weekend, and I have a man, okay? So anyway, I didn't get a chance to call this person that day that I said that I would, but I was going to call them the next day and, see what they wanted so that I could get it for them. Before I could do that, they ended up calling my husband. And they called my husband, and they told my husband that I was disrespectful. They didn't know why I hated them so much, and I treat them like I don't want them to be around, and all this other stuff, and that I was disrespectful. I called them a narcissist, and they're not a narcissist, and just all this stuff. And what pisses me off is the level of dysfunction that I have on this side of the family. I've witnessed for years. Now, on both sides of my family, it's a lot of dysfunction, but I'm talking about this particular side of my family. I've noticed this, and it's going on between the siblings and the parents a lot. And I realized that I don't want that generational curse. I don't want to be a part of that cycle. And I want to, break that dysfunction. That's not something that I want to pass on to my children. So when my husband, told me this and told me that she said, don't tell me that she called him. And, he had to let her know, like, I'm going to tell her that you called me. I'm going to tell her what you said. We don't keep secrets from each other. We are one. So I have to let her know, what's going on. And I appreciated the fact that my husband stood up for me like that, because husbands and wives, that's what you're supposed to do. You are supposed to stand up for your spouse, no matter who it is. Your spouse comes first, and that's who you're supposed to side with. Even if you disagree, you take that up with your spouse in the privacy of your own home. Okay? You don't let somebody know that you don't agree with your spouse. You don't let somebody talk about your spouse and you throw your spouse under the bus. You don't do that. If you have an issue with your spouse, you don't tell somebody else. What you do is you take that up with your spouse. You take that up with, your pastor, if you guys need a mediator, or couples that are assigned, to be able to mediate for you, or somebody who doesn't have a bone in that fight. A parent, a relative, they're going to take up for their loved one first, because they want the best for their loved one. So they're going to take up for them first. That's why you need to make sure that when you have a gripe with your spouse or your partner, your life partner, a person you've been with forever, if you have an issue, take that up with somebody who can be neutral, not somebody on your side of the family or her side of the family. So anyway, when my husband told me that, the way I'm set up, y'all, it pissed me the hell off. Like, I was steaming mad. I thought that was a lot of nerve, because what you do not do, you do not call someone else's spouse and attempt to talk bad about their spouse to them. That's something that you don't do. And I don't understand why people don't have enough common sense to know that that's something that you don't do, or why they don't have enough respect to understand that that's not what you do. But again, when you're dealing with people who've never been married and don't have someone to put them first, sometimes people get a little bit confused about their position and what they're allowed to do and what they're not supposed to do. So anyway, because of that, and the level of dysfunction, I know that this person wants to get a rise out of me, because they haven't been able to get a rise out of me. They haven't been able to get any exchange from me. And a lot of times when a person is getting ignored, or what they feel as though is ignored, any response is a good response, whether it's an angry negative response or a good positive response. As long as they get something out of you, that makes them happy. But what I'm not going to do is, I'm not going to be drug left when I'm trying to go right. I want to remain positive. I don't want levels of dysfunction in my family. So I've been contemplating about what to do in reference to this person, because I truly need my space. I truly need to live a happy, functional life. And there have been people that I've cut out my life, and I've been so much more happy, so much more peaceful, drama free, and I appreciate that. I have health problems. I don't need that kind of pressure and that kind of stuff weighing on my shoulders. And I know it's a lot of you guys out there like that don't need it as well. So, when you have people like that, and they're disrespectful to you, they're disrespectful to your marriage, and they're hurtful to you and your marriage, it's okay to let those people go. It's okay to not engage with those people. It's okay to just keep it moving. If you don't want to talk to that person, that's okay too. You're not obligated to do anything but live your life. And I just want you guys out there that are, you know, married, engaged, and all that kind of stuff, to know that the enemy will come in all forms to destroy your happiness, to destroy your marriage, your union. They will come in all forms, and you have to be prepared to guard your relationship, because you can't control everybody. All you can do is control yourself and how you react, and also your spouse can control how they react. In this case, you know, my husband, I was proud of the way he handled it. You know, he tried to explain some things to that person, but ultimately, you know, the disrespect that they showed by contacting my husband and trying to talk negative about me left a bad taste in my mouth, and I'm just not ready to deal with them, because at this point, y'all know your girl Queen C got a potty mouth, and if I feel like you disrespecting me, you disrespecting my marriage, I don't mind cussing you out. So because of that, I'm just gonna lay low and be quiet for a while until I have a better idea of how I may want to handle this situation. But I just want to share that with you guys. You know, to you single people out there, if you don't know, it's not wise. I don't care if it's your sibling. I don't care what family member it is. It's not wise to speak negatively to someone else's spouse in reference to them. If you have anything that you need to say, you may want to say it yourself. You may want to write it down, or whatever the case may be. Now, this has nothing to do with children who need to vent to a parent. And, you know, if they feel as though dad did something unfair or mom did something unfair and they need to vent to their parent, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about grown folks who have temper tantrums and, you know, feel insulted, and then they get angry and they want to call themselves venting to another person's spouse about them. That's wrong, and you need to get yourself some business, okay? That's it for today. If you have any questions for me, you can email me at queenchrisshonda@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe to me. Like me on Facebook at the Queen C's Hive, Twitter and Instagram at Queen C or Queen Chrishonda. And I want to say peace, guys. Thanks for watching.